Hey guys, and what's up? Welcome back to our next video. Today we're going to be looking at warrior spell animations. Warriors have been hit pretty hard with the ability prune, so there's a lot missing. Our spellbook itself is pretty condensed. Only a couple active skills, and of course the addition of the spells that are added because of our talent tree. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. We are no longer in possession of Overpower. Heroic Strike is prot only. So two pretty big skills there for us are gone. But we're just going to take a look at the spell animations today and see what's new, what's changed. For starters, we're going to take a look at our shouts. Now our shouts no longer have a cooldown, so they're just instant. They can be used whenever you want. But as you can see, the aura, the ripple effect, that shockwave there, that wave effect for your battle shout and your commanding shout have changed in the sense that they're definitely more dynamic and dramatic. There always has been a little effect, a little wave that would like pulse out from the warrior, but now we're looking at it's a little more pronounced, so it's definitely a little more authoritative in the sense of it kind of adds to the effect of your shouting, and so it kind of has that feel to it, so that's pretty cool. Battle shout of course is red and commanding shout is blue. We're gonna go right in with charge. So charge initially puts that rock formation around the feet of the target, because charge no longer stuns the target, but instead it roots them in place. So again, you can see still the same rushing forward and the rocks building up around the target. Take a look at Mortal Strike next. So still has that big, quick downward strike with a leap involved. So pretty cool there. Looks like you're actually swinging your weapon with some force and with some intensity. That blue little effect around the weapon there. So pretty cool. Next we'll look at Colossus Smash. Colossus Smash with the grabbing your two-handed weapon with one hand and flinging it forward there. Let's take a look one more time at Colossus Smash so you can see takes the one hand there and just flings it forward. Pretty cool. Sweeping Strikes no longer has that crowned animation that goes up above our head. But instead we saw just that little burst of blue light around us as it goes off. So let's take a look at that one more time. Sweeping Strikes. Looks like little swords flinging around us. Pretty cool. How about Rend? So Rend, the target glows red. You can see that splash of blood on the target there. Does its thing, it ticks down and does its thing. How about Hamstring? So Hamstring itself, not too much. You can see a little, almost like a little purple firework there around the target, identifying the hamstring, but nothing too dynamic or dramatic there. Let's take a look at Whirlwind. So still that brief, quick spin around there with the red swirlies going on around us. So it's definitely like a smaller version of Bladestorm. And then we'll take a look now at Thunderclap. So still that same stomp the ground, call down thunder. You see the shockwave effect go around. Let's see if you can still glyph for it to, yeah, you can. So now with the glyph of Thunder Strike, you see it calls down the thunder from the sky there. How about Weapon Throw, or sorry, Heroic Throw? Now this one is interesting, the changed mechanic, because it actually has a minimum range now. You have to be at least 8 yards away for it to work. You can no longer use it right up front. Pummel. Looks like the effect of it, or the animation, has been updated a little bit in the sense of it's definitely more dynamic, playing with the new skeletons or the new redesigned character animations, a little more fluidity there, and so you're seeing a little bit more of a smooth and dynamic animation there for Pummel. So that's pretty cool. Spell Reflection. So still does the same thing now, where you see the shield above your head and you spawn a shield that is faction specific on your hand. So pretty cool. Again, if you're Horde, you'll see that Horde shield show up, and if you're Alliance, obviously the Grand Marshal shield there. Taking a look now at Die by the Sword. So still same animation there, a little bit of a red glow, the sword starts spinning all around you, then angle upwards and continue to spin. How about taunt? Let's look at taunt. So that's still the same effect. Rallying cry. That's definitely more dynamic there, a little more explosive. Looks like you're actually, again, emphasizing the shout that you're supposed to be giving off there. So that's pretty cool, just an explosive animation look to it. I'm a fan. Well, let's take a look at some of our talents now. These are level 15 tier, doesn't change much, just basically affects the way your charge interacts with the target. You're Enraged Regeneration, Second Wind, and Impending Victory. The only one really with the new spell animation on it is Enraged Regeneration, because Second Wind is passive, and Impending Victory just basically replaces your Victory Rush and allows you to use it as a skill without killing the target, but it still procs after a kill. So we're going to proc Enraged Regen and see what that looks like. And that's about it. As you can see, it just puts a little orc face over the top of your character, goes away, and continues to heal you for the duration. Now 45 tier, Taste for Blood and Sudden Death, both passives. Sudden Death allows you to potentially use your execute regardless of the target's health. Personally, I think a 10% chance is pretty low and should be up, but that's just me. And then each time Rend deals damage, you gain 3 rage for Taste for Blood. I could see that being potentially pretty good too. Everything in our level 45 tier I could see being actually viable. It just depends on your playstyle and who you're playing with. For right now though, I'm picking Slam because I like having a couple extra attacks to throw out there personally. Take a look at Slam real quick. So Slam has the same animation here as Colossus Smash, except you see the blue flash of light around us as it kind of implodes and then explodes. As you can see, zoop, and there. So every time we slam, that's what goes on. What is going on with this druid over here? Oh, he's got some wing things maybe? I think that's a beta bug. So as you can see, the blue flash there implodes and then explodes upon impact. Intimidating Shout. So again, you can see just an increased effect of like just pronounced flash and stylization in a lot of the warrior shouts there. Just kind of fun to have because again, as a melee class, so often it feels like you're kind of just swinging your sword around recklessly and relentlessly, and it's cool because you're seeing the numbers, but you really don't see what your skills look like. Not like a caster or like a like a mage, how they cast. It's nothing that too dramatic that you'll see like that. So it's kind of cool to see at least our shouts being pronounced in such a way that they feel like you're actually doing something. Next, we're going to take a look at Stormbolt. You hurl a lightning-ish hammer at the target, and it stuns them, does some damage. Pretty cool looking, reminds me of Thor. It's one of my favorite talents that we've gotten in a while as a warrior. I like that it kind of fills my need, or my longing that I have missing Throwdown. I really liked the skill Throwdown that we had from Cataclysm. I miss it. I miss the playstyle. I miss what it added to warrior gameplay, and so being able to spec into Stormbolt kind of helps scratch that itch. It's a reliable cooldown as well. It does some decent damage, stuns the target, and the buff that it does to targets that are immune to stuns I think are pretty legit. Taking a look now at Shockwave. Shockwave is always one of my favorite skills animation-wise for warriors. Just like you just lunge forward, stomp the ground, and there's just a massive shockwave of pain coming the target's way. Still functions the same way in that if you hit 3 targets, the target is reduced from 40 second cooldown down to 30 or 20 seconds. I'm sorry. So that's kind of cool. Again, I like the versatility it adds between either Stormbolt or Shockwave. If you're doing 2s matches or things like that, or doing 1v1, Stormbolt may be your better choice because it's initially on a shorter cooldown. But if you're doing 3s matches, or more, or even RBGs, Shockwave might be your talent of choice there. Just because you have the opportunity to proc that cooldown that reduces it down to 20 seconds. Last on our level 60 tier, we're going to take a look at Dragon's Roar. Still same effect, see the dragon head pop up above you. That dramatic shouting effect there, hits the target, stuns them, knocks them back. Nothing's changed there, still on a minute cooldown. And unfortunately, it probably will be the last talent of choice for warriors here, least likely to be picked in this tier, because it's never really been good except for warriors running single-minded Fury as Fury. which is too bad because it's a cool attack. Let's take a look at Mass Spell Reflection. This is unfortunate, but I can understand why they did it. But this time around, Mass Spell Reflection does in fact replace our standard Spell Reflection. So keep that in mind if you're playing a warrior and you're taking Mass Spell Reflect. You don't have access to both spell reflections. It's just one or the other. And as you can see, a little bit less dynamic of a spell effect. No shield in your hand that time. Not sure if that's finished or if eventually they'll up it to where it does incur the spell effect there of the shield. But for now, it's simply the shield above your head. Take a look at Bladestorm. Bladestorm is currently bugged on the beta in that your character actually just kind of stands still dramatically for the duration of Bladestorm. That's rather disappointing. As a whole, it actually hasn't changed much at all. Still looks exactly the same as it does on live. Still electrical effects whirling around you as you spin in circles like a deranged ballerina for a minute, or not for a minute, for 6 seconds, yeah, for one whole minute. That would be a little bit ridiculous and unnecessary. The cooldown is a minute, so that's what I was thinking of here. Taking a look at our middle level 100 talent while we're waiting for Bladestorm to come off cooldown is Ravager. Ravager is one of the coolest looking new abilities that warriors have gotten. It drops your weapon here in the center of the ground, wherever you drop your little rune there, and it spins and spins and spins and does a ton of damage. Let's take a look now at Bloodbath. So Bloodbath, as you can see, sparks that little red effect around us, and it kind of pulsates at the course of our attacks. It still functions the same way. It's a stacking bleed where the more damage you do while it's up, the bigger bleed you put on the target. So again, pretty cool skill there. And then last little talent there in our level 100 that is not passive. Actually, anger management is passive, so there's no spell animation for it there. But either Siegebreaker or Ravager are our skills that we can pick. Now Siegebreaker, cool in theory, great idea. In actuality and all functionality, kind of falls short. Mostly because it does in fact replace Intimidating Shout, and so you're getting a stun and a small knockback instead of a fear, and it just isn't worth it. On a 45-second cooldown, in that quick little smash there and knocks the target back. Initial idea is cool. I think if it did more damage maybe, or if the cooldown wasn't as long or something, I don't really know what they could do with it. There's a couple different things they could do with it to make it better, but I don't see many warriors running with it at all. I don't see it as being an actual choice. Unless you're good and can like time it and set it up right to where you're knocking your target back into your hunter's traps or something like that. That'd be fun. Taking a look now at protection spec. Pretty similar animations as far as what's going on. Most of our skills, at least our like attack skills more or less, don't really change. Definitely some difference in our defensives, and a couple of our main offensive skills change. Still have charge, still have hamstring, and as we said, heroic strike is protection only, so still looks the same, just that slow kind of backhand swing there towards the target. The shield slam, still the same there, just that backhanding of the shield. Thunderclap, still the same unless you glyph for it. Let's look at shield barrier. So that one just kind of puts a little effect over top of our heads there. That little, looks like it's a pulsating effect there that shoots out in front of us. So there we go, so that's the shield barrier there. It's interesting that they gave that to warriors across the board as well. Whenever you're camping in defensive stance, that's what you're going to be using to keep yourself alive. Looking at revenge, 8-second cooldown. It's steep. Shield block. That one's kind of cool. Just puts that yellow burst effect there over top of our heads, just to let people know that we're blocking with a shield. How about demoralizing shout? So same thing as commanding and battle shout, just with a green effect, you know. How about now shield wall? Shield wall is protection only now. It's our big protection cooldown, and it still looks the same with the spinning shields around us there that pulse in and out. Last stand makes us glow a little tinge of red or orange there. but nothing too dramatic or drastic there. And again, all of our talents pretty much stay the same except for a couple here and there, but the ones that do change are passive. I suppose it is worth taking a look at avatar here. So we get a little bit bigger and we just turn gray. Ever since Avatar was released, I felt like the animation for it was overall overwhelmingly disappointing. Just so many other classes have transformation or shape-shifting type skills for big cooldowns, even shamans with their ascendants. And warriors just basically look like they're a giant stone statue. I don't know. It's not nearly as exciting, I guess, as other stuff, but maybe that's just me complaining. Never really impressed by it. I mean, when the talent was good, it was cool, but it was kind of lackluster compared to what it could have been as far as visuals are concerned. Now let's take it the new talent that's causing quite a bit of stir for warriors, basically allowing us to no longer spec prot just for defensive purposes, but we're allowed to spec prot for damage as well. Gladiator stance. So as you can see, our entire bar changes. The animation for it changes there. Just for defensive stance, as you can see, just a simple shield with some spikes on it. Gladiator stance, you got full on like spinning gear with a shield and a face on it. And right now the only major change is our shield charge. So as you can see, that's another gap closer for warriors. Does it stun the target? I don't know, very interesting, but it does increase damage of some of our other attacks. Let's take a look at Safeguard really quick. As you can see, still have our banner, and we're running toward the target, and there it is. Looking at Fury now. Still can, of course, equip 2 two-handers or 2 one-handers for Fury. So the options there are pretty dope. Do you like the way those new axes look? Kind of small for two-handers, but they're still pretty cool looking. As you can see, talents again don't change a whole lot except for Furious Strikes. It makes your Wild Strike cost 15 less rage. So that's kind of cool. Let's look at Heroic Leap real quick. I realized I never looked at Heroic Leap. So still same lunges at the target. Lands in the direction, creates a shockwave, some cracks on the ground, does some damage. Let's look at Bloodthirst. So a backhanded swing there, does its thing, kind of nifty. Wild Strike. Wild Strike itself, not too much of an animation there, except for that just bloody little swipe there across. Nifty. How about Raging Blow? So, Raging Blow still has that same lunge forward with both of your axes. Almost looks like you're going in for the kill there on that one, so pretty nifty. Interesting some stuff about these passive talents at 45 is Unquenchable Thirst actually makes it to where your Bloodthirst has no cooldown. Just spam it away, spam it away. And then lastly, looking at Piercing Howl as it is a Fury exclusive. So just the white shockwave effect that we've been familiar with from Battle Shout, Commanding Shout, Demoralizing Shout. This time it's just a little bit of white, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe more yellow. Light yellow, maybe white, who knows. But that's about it for Warriors. I don't think I missed anything. But hey, that's going to do it for me here. This has been looking at Warrior spell animations from Arms, Fury, Protection, even Protection with a Gladiator stance. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't yet subscribed and want to give us a chance here, hit that subscribe button. Look forward to seeing you around, and hopefully you'll enjoy your stay. With that, this has been Ultimus, and I'll see you guys next time.